Almost heaven, West Virginia.
Welcome to the episode where all of our American viewers stop listening and unfollow us. So, this is the King's Dominion episode.
We haven't got a proper cold open, have we?
This is a cold open.
Is it a cold open?
Yes. Alright, welcome back. Decent Thrills podcast. This is episode 8. Should be episode 8. We're back to America today to talk about more American parks.
It's been a very long time since we've been now.
Yeah, it's literally been like over half a year, but we can still squeeze content out of it.
We've got 3 left. I bet you by the time we've done all these 3, we will have done more park trips with other people that we can record episodes on. So we've padded this out over a very long time, mostly due to our inability to fucking schedule episodes. I mean, we're doing better than other podcasts, I'd say.
Yeah.
Kind of. I don't know.
Gentlemen, start your engines!
We're just going to continue straight on from where we left, which was after Six Flags America.
We were at Max's house, basically knocked out cold.
Yeah, so we got back to Max's quite late. You know, we left Six Flags America not at park close, but it was getting dark as we left, and it was night.
We literally were there for like 2 hours after we'd been to DC, and then we just barreled it down to Richmond, Virginia, and that was that.
So we went to Max's house. It was a very nice house. You know, I think mainly just
large, big.
Yeah.
There's one thing I noticed when I went to America for the first time is how fucking huge the houses are compared to over here.
Yeah, Max's house is very nice. His family were very nice. We met his mum and his sister, both very nice, and his dog. His dog was great. I love his dog.
Great,
yeah. That was Max's house. We had quite comfortable, just blow up beds in his room, basically.
It was fine.
It was great. It was better than
I think that was the first night that I'd properly slept.
Yeah, I found Max's room more comfortable than the hotels, and I was on a mattress on the floor.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't have an issue with the hotels. I thought they were fine, but I know that you're quite picky when it comes to them.
I just don't like damp beds, honestly.
I mean, neither do I, but I did not have that bad of an issue. Like, I've had worse in the UK by a long shot.
Yeah. So, if you listen to the last episode, you'll know that during Dorney Park, I came down with a headache, which lasted all throughout Hershey Park and throughout most of Six Flags America. And I skipped quite a lot of credits because of that. So, to my absolute relief, when I woke up in the morning on the day we were set to go to King's Dominion, my headache was gone. Yeah. And I was so happy about that.
Just in time to ride your predicted number 1 of the trip, Twisted Timbers.
Yes. So, that happened. So, King's Dominion. So, we drove up.
Rolled in.
You go along the highway, and there's a massive sign by the side of the road with King's Dominion on with a big screen. It's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Very American.
You see Dominator as just I-305 up a distance. You also see unnamed suspended looping architecture piece.
Yes. I will say, for a ride as tall as I-305, it doesn't look particularly tall from the car park. Mainly because of how far back. Yeah, because of how far back it is.
Yes. The volcano art sculpture looks a lot taller.
We'll get into volcano, but volcano is like the most noticeable thing from the car park, surprisingly.
Yeah, definitely.
And that and Dominator, because Dominator's massive. Like, I think I didn't realize quite how massive Dominator was when we got there, but it's huge. I mean, it is one of the tallest roller coaster loops out there. So
yeah,
that was a bit of a surprise.
I mean, should we run through the park itself first? There's definitely not as much to talk about here as the other ones. It's
the entrance shed itself. The entrance shed. That's basically sums up the entrance building. The entrance building itself is not very nice. It's like a concrete box. Whatever. That being said, the main street of this park is fucking gorgeous. It's
everything
really
about
nice.
the entrance area is fantastic.
Yeah, you've got that lake in the middle with the fountains, all the trees around you, the buildings look nice. The Eiffel Tower towering above you. There's the King's Dominion sign with the flowers around it.
Yeah, all of the flower beds in general in this park are really well kept and like awfully nice.
At night time, it feels really nice. It feels quite European. Actually,
yeah, I know. I mean,
think.
that's kind of what it's supposed to mimic.
Yeah,
and
with
it's
the
Eiffel Tower.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's really nice, the entrance. I was really surprised for I mean, people do say this is the nicest Cedar Fair park, and I could probably get behind that. I can
kind of see where they're coming from, yeah.
And we walked round, as we walked round to Twisted Timbers, through, like, the nice sort of forested end of the park.
The forest area where the log flume was and where the antique cars were. It was gorgeous.
As we walked around towards Twisted Timbers, fucking West Virginia was playing on the fucking park speakers. It was perfect.
Is that what the song's called?
I don't know. It's called Country Roads or something, but like everyone knows what West Virginia is. Yeah, so that was great. It was very.
That was literally
very
playing
iconic.
That was literally. Imagine how cool it was, like that playing over the park stereo as we walked into the plaza.
That was literally playing
Timbers.
as an RMC came into view in front of us.
Yeah.
It was wonderful.
It was literally like a scene from a film or something.
So yeah.
Before we go on to the coasters, I think I'll touch on the rest of the park first, since of how you've.
I was going to say that the rest of the park is there's a lot more to talk about with the rest of the park.
Should we just like go by area?
Yeah. Well,
right, so we'll start off with. What is it called?
Safari Village.
It has a name. It has a name.
What area?
The Twimbers area. It has a name.
Oh, Candy Apple Grove.
Is that it? No.
Yeah, that's what it's called.
Oh, it is Candy Apple Grove. Yeah.
That's the area That's the area they redid for Twisted Timbers.
Yeah, this is the area that had recently been redone, and it was not bad.
No. It's nice.
We'll mention this in the Carowinds episode, but it was quite polarizing seeing like this and then going to Carowinds and seeing like the same thing but worse.
Yeah, the same thing without like the updated, and just seeing Hurler, which is this fucking ugly ass Taft wooden coaster.
Compared to this really nice looking RMC with great aesthetic, visual, and.
So that's nice, and the way that's all been done up, they repainted Ricochet.
Yeah, the way they've reintegrated that entire area has really brought it out. Like they've done their best with what they got, and that area does also have a certain something sitting behind a fence.
Yes,
that we
can talk about that when we get to Windseeker.
Yeah.
Which is towards the end. So, what area of the park? The area of the park I don't like so much is, I don't know what it's called, but it's not really an area. It's more the fact that like half of the water park is just slapped in the centre.
Oh, that bit.
Yeah.
The bit around Backlot and that.
Yeah. It's not very nice.
Backlot's area is a bit.
And it ruins some quite nice sightlines of Anaconda. And that used to be a whole lake there. That's been filled in. Which is a real shame. Yeah, it's a real shame.
Backlot also looks ugly.
Yeah, Backlot's not a very nice looking coaster at all. You can tell it's like everything that Paramount built in this park is ugly as fuck.
Literally that straight between Candy Apple Grove and Backlot is mostly just fucking ugly Paramount stuff. Like Drop Tower, is it Drop Tower or Drop Zone? I can't remember.
Drop Tower Scream Zone.
Yeah, Drop Tower Scream Zone. That area was also very Paramount, so big open flat concrete with a few bits of trees.
Yeah. That bit's not so great.
The bit around Anaconda
Safari Village
is quite nice.
Yeah,
that was quite nice. Some of it you could tell was like dated.
The presence of Flight of Fear and I-305 doesn't make much sense in that area. But I think
it is supposed to be separate. It is supposed to be separate from everything, and you've also got in that area you've got a nice Intamin sculpture.
Yeah, some big sculpture made by Intamin, which is quite nice to look at. Crypt.
For some reason, Avalanche.
Yeah, Avalanche is nicely done up, actually. Yeah. Surprising.
I found it really out of place for that area, for like a safari area.
Yeah.
You got to think about it. That's got Swiss bobsleigh theming right next to a volcano. It's a bit questionable.
There is a lot of questionable
It's more
stuff
out of place. I genuinely think that Avalanche in that area is more out of place than Rita in the Dark Forest.
Oh. That's the big one. That's a big one right there.
I know it's a big one, but I will stand by it.
Yeah. So
other areas to mention, you've got Camp Snoopy.
It's fine.
It's fine. It's really overexpanded, but it's fine.
Yeah. One thing which I'll say is quite consistent about this park is it's very well wooded around the whole place.
Oh yeah, it's
There's a
very
lot of
nicely
trees,
wooded.
a lot of shade.
The only like non-dense areas are literally just the blobs of Paramount. Like
And
you can tell
the I-305 area is all open concrete as well.
Yeah, but that's because it's a very tiny plaza. That
Yeah.
used to all be marshland, I believe.
Yeah, I think it was.
Yeah.
Um,
The only other area that's a bit questionable is Dominator, where it's just kind of there.
Yeah, well, that was clearly something that was sort of stuck in
For those who
afterwards.
don't know, Dominator was relocated from what was at the time Jogger Lake?
Jogger Lake, yeah.
Yeah.
We rode quite a lot of former Jogger Lake coasters on this trip, actually.
Oh yeah.
Because we rode Steel Venom, I guess it was called back there.
Yeah.
And we rode the Boomerang at Carowinds.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Dominator's the big one, and it is massive. But the
It's
area
quite,
is, yeah.
The area around it is just a bit naff. It's very like that's like basic bitch Cedar Fair.
Yeah,
Area.
That's about as Cedar Fair as it gets, honestly.
And then there's just Berserker just next to it, just sitting there.
Yeah, that's there as well.
Other areas of the park that I believe we're missing an area. I feel like I've missed a chunk of the park.
Well, there's
somewhere.
Dinosaurs Alive, which we didn't touch.
Oh yeah,
really.
the bit over by Grizzly. Yeah, that's the other part.
Yeah.
It's kind of in that wooded area we talked about by the log flume. Didn't actually do any rides in that area bar Grizzly.
No,
but that area of the park was quite wooded and fairly relaxed and chill, and it's got like water. Hasn't it got water fountains or water features?
Might do.
I think I remember having something nice, but
They've
yeah,
got
the park itself, yeah.
One thing I do remember, actually, they have that like big tunnel that's got like vines woven over the top.
They had one of those at Carowinds as well. Do you remember?
Yes, I think I do actually.
So I think that's a Cedar Fair thing.
Yeah, that's nice. I like that. Well, I know it could have been a Paramount thing as well, because Carowinds was also Paramount.
Yeah.
So who knows?
I don't know.
But yeah, no. Overall, it's nice. There's definitely some glaring flaws with the parks area, but
I think overall, like the good areas do kind of like outshine
the good outweighs the bad. Yeah. I like it more. I like King's Dominion more than Hershey Park, honestly.
Ooh, really?
Yeah. I mean, there's too much bad in Hershey Park, and yeah.
I guess
For me,
I will begrudgingly concede that point. I guess
the more I've looked back on Hershey Park, the more I've sort of not liked it very much as a park.
It's just that area by that water ride, isn't it?
Yeah, and just the fact that they have so many low capacity rides and they get so busy. Anyway, so that's Hershey Park.
All right, so let's wind all the way back to when we walked up to Twisted Timbers.
Hang on, the couple of other things.
Oh, are there?
Yeah, look at the notes.
Oh, food.
So food, yeah.
Something that you didn't eat much of.
No, well, you went to a Subway.
We went. Yeah, well, no. The day before we went to a diner by Twisted Timbers, and the food there was actually better than the UK food.
Yeah, no, the jukebox diner was nice.
Yeah, then I went to a Subway and it was bad.
And
but you went to the legendary Mac Bowl, didn't you?
Yeah, Max took me to Mac Bowl, which apparently is like a quintessential Cedar Fair thing at King's Dominion. And honestly, I get it. It was nice. It was so nice that I recreated what I had at Mac Bowl at home. For those of you who don't know what it is, it's basically a Subway for mac and cheese. And you choose like your own toppings and sauces and stuff you want to put on it. It's great.
Yeah.
We'd never get anything like this at a UK park.
Yeah.
It's such a small thing, but it was nice. It's really nice.
All right, let's properly wind back to the coaster now. So we'll go through all the rides.
We've got some.
We'll start with the first one.
So the first thing we rode was Twisted Timbers, one of the most anticipated coasters of this trip. It was new the year that we were there.
We have had to put off talking about this for so long.
You say that.
We talked about it in the new 2018 look back.
A little bit, yeah. Anyone who knows us personally anyone who knows us personally will be rolling their eyes at this point and possibly muting the podcast for what's about to happen. So, basically, Twisted Timbers was possibly the most disappointing coaster of the trip.
Yeah. Yeah.
Considering what we were told.
Yeah, especially considering what we were told. I mean, I know you found it disappointing. I was on a completely different level of disappointment to you. Because it had been 2 years since I'd been on an RMC. I'd done Joker and Twisted Colossus, and I had everybody telling me that I was crazy for liking Joker a lot, and I was crazy for liking Twisted Colossus a lot, and that when I were at Twisted Timbers, I would hate them, and that I would say Twisted Timbers was one of the best coasters I've been on in my life. I literally could not wait to get back on something that gave like the same kind of fucking out of control airtime lateral sensation that Twisted Colossus did.
On my end, I had people on Discord saying like, "Oh, you're not ready for this ride. It's gonna redefine your definition of airtime. It's gonna be insane." And I was like, I mean, it's RMC. Everyone says RMC are amazing.
It's an RMC. It's got to be good.
Yeah.
Like, there's nothing wrong with RMCs ever. Right. They're always fine.
I will say, right, it was good. It was a good ride. Good. But
it's a good ride.
Did it meet our expectations from what we were told?
No. Absolutely not. Like, no. Just absolutely flat out no.
So what... Oh, God. Like, I think for me...
Pretty much everything went wrong for this. Like... We got on it, went around it. The airtime over the 3 hills, which I have been told is better than the airtime on Steel Vengeance at times, felt like Flowjector that you could literally get on fucking Shambhala.
Yeah.
All of the lateral like transitions were not that forceful. The bit underneath the lift, where it like tilts outwards, was pathetic in comparison to Colossus's top like stall thing. The roll was awful. It killed itself in the pacing by the end.
Yeah. There is... I mean...
No positive forces at all.
Yeah. So, like, Max, who is the King's Dominion local, he was, like, hyping us up for this ride as well. And clearly, there is no way that the version of Twisted Timbers we rode was the same version that everyone was hyping up. I refuse to believe that people rate what we rode so highly.
Everybody, I mean, Max, when we came off our first ride, Max was pretty much red in the face.
He was quite upset, saying, like,
yeah,
I swear that is so much slower. Like, he was saying it was so much slower than he's ridden it in the past. Yeah, like, it was just like, I was expecting something that was crazy and amazing.
We've been on Skyrush, we've been on, like, Toro and that, we've been on a few airtime focused rides, and this was just the worst of them all.
It was like a lot of airtime, and it was a lot of decent airtime, and it was fun, but, you know, you get about halfway around the layout, and you're like, okay, I've kind of done airtime now. Can we have something else? And like the ride's like, okay, here's some inversions, and you go through it, and you're like, wow, that is a really boring inversion.
Yeah.
Here's some more airtime.
I don't like... I want to like it. I look at it. I love the way the layout's structured. I love the aesthetics of the coaster. I love the trains. I love, like...
Yeah, it's such a nice looking ride. Like, the way that they... Like, Hurler was ugly as fuck, and they've turned something ugly and disgusting into something really nice. So...
I just feel depressed looking at this right now. It's just, like...
It's unbelievable.
I want to love you, but you like, properly hurt me.
I want to talk about a couple positives. So obviously it looks nice. I will say, this being my first RMC, like, this thing is smooth. Probably the smoothest thing I've ever been on. It's like marbles on glass. It's unbelievably smooth.
Yeah, RMCs have a knack for being really smooth.
Yeah.
And if they are quote unquote rough, usually it's just a vibration from a train. The track itself is glass. It's
so smooth. And oh, for God's sake. Yeah, it's very smooth. Sorry, Facebook just went off. It's very smooth, so that's a big positive. The trains look great.
Yeah.
It's nice at night. We did ride this at night, and it did get a little bit better at night. And I think we did sort of go like, okay, this is good.
I do want to throw out a disclaimer, by the way.
Go on.
We 100% got a toned down ride on this because we have seen footage since and compared it to footage before.
Yes.
And it has run a lot quicker.
Mm.
And prior to our visit at CoasterCon, it was running so fast, it was overshooting the brake run and stopping halfway over the mid-course. Not the mid-course, halfway over the transfer track.
Yes.
So, it was good at one point, by the sounds of it, and like really crazy and out of control, but they had done a lot of work to it since then. They'd fixed the brake run, they put a new set of wheels on it. They basically nerfed it.
The host said it was running at its intended speed, so that kind of makes me think that it was never meant to be that fast.
That's disappointing as shit if that's actually the case. I don't want to believe that's true, but at the same time, I'm like, yeah.
But the knock-on effect that this ride has had for me now, it's like everyone in, like, obviously we're getting RMC in Europe now. RMC are starting to emerge in Europe, and everyone's really excited, and I'm just like, all I can think about is just this air of disappointment that happened when we rode Twisted Timbers, and like, I don't know, that's why my hype for Untamed is so meh right now. Because Twisted Timbers was all airtime, and it wasn't the best airtime. Icon has stronger airtime than Twisted Timbers the day we rode it. And it doesn't offer any of the forces. So it's just yeah.
I want to like it more.
Yeah.
It's sad.
So judging by the judging by the list of the way I've ordered the coasters in the notes, there's going to be a lot of negatives before we get to some of the good rides.
Yeah.
So Backlot Stunt Coaster's next on the list.
Backlot, no, you're going to have negative things to say about it. I thought Backlot as a coaster was pretty fun. I'd take it over 13.
I think I would. Yeah.
I thought it was fun. However, none of the effects work.
No, actually, yeah, no, Backlot is alright. For a family coaster, it's pretty fun. It's crazy how it launches into a helix. I was like, wait, that's like allowed? That's safe? The G-forces are fine there? I didn't realise how long the indoor section was. That was something that surprised me.
Yeah.
The trains look great. I love the little minis. It was
It's a shame that it's a shadow of what it once was, though. It literally suffers from that whole Paramount made it, but then Cedar Fair came in. They had to strip all the Italian job branding, and I wouldn't say ruin it. They just had to sort of cut back on everything because they did not have the power to.
Yeah, so that's about all there is to say about Backlot. It's all right. It's a fun little family ride. It's decent.
Anaconda.
Was
trash.
Yeah, so I watched a lot of POVs for this ride, and I was like, wow, this looks shit. And if you look at any POV, you'll see that as soon as it hits the mid-course, it loses all speed. It trims the shit out of it.
It basically comes to a full stop, which is a common occurrence, apparently, at Cedar Fair rides. Like, this is not the only one in this park that does that. There is another one that I'll talk about later on.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, of course. Yeah, like the first half, like the drop into the loop and to the Sidewinder. Is it Sidewinder? Or whatever the other one is.
I don't know. Arrow called it something weird.
Yeah, but that bit's quite good. Then the rest is like, it's so slow. Like, it takes the turns so slowly, and then it goes around into that helix over the lake, which is not helix, sorry, the corkscrews over the lake, which are so slow.
Corkscrew.
They're so slow you get hang time. Yeah.
Yeah, it's bad.
Yeah.
I kind of expect it to be better, but no.
I will say, as a positive, it looks very nice off-ride. I love the aesthetics of old Arrow Loopers in general. And the colour scheme and the way it's put over the lake, it's all very, very nice. It looks great.
I do love the fact that it's over the lake and that, but that's the only thing it's got going for it.
Pretty much.
Everyone listening is going to be like, oh, why are you saying you like Kings of Mini so much when you're shitting on all the rides?
We'll get to the good ones. Right, so what did you think of
about
Volcano?
I don't know, it was a pretty good art piece.
Yeah, so...
I mean, yeah.
Obviously, we know that Volcano's gone now. It's going... They're getting rid of it. Not really a shock, honestly. Like, when we booked this trip, Volcano was open. basically.
And the Stinger was also open.
Yeah.
Apparently we're just cursed for running inverted coasters.
Yes.
Bar like one.
So, yeah, it got to about April time, and some of we talked to a lot of Americans on Discord, and one of them just said like, "Oh, did you hear about Volcano? It's fucked up completely, and it's going to be down for the rest of the season." Yeah. So like, oh great, okay, we're missing that one. It's a shame because it's such a unique coaster.
We just walked around it and just looked.
Yeah, like the train.
All I remember is just there were frogs in the bit where the Smurf River ride track was.
It's got so much history. This mountain. Have you watched the Expedition Theme Park video on?
No, I
Volcano?
haven't. I don't watch Expedition Theme Park much.
You should. It's very interesting to see how much used to be in this building. When we got there, the train was sat on the track just outside of the station.
The fountains were still on as well.
The fountains were still on. The test seat was gone.
There was audio in the queue.
Yes, the test seat was gone.
Yeah.
I wonder if that audio and the lights were on as well, because I wonder if that's all on just one universal switch that powers a load of the rides in the area. I remember sitting there, we were just taking a bit of a break, and we were sitting outside Volcano, and we heard a lot of guests walking past going, "Oh, Volcano has no line, let's go." And we broke the news to them, like these random British guys that come up to them like, "Volcano's closed, mate. Sorry." It's gone.
Yeah.
The fact that the test seat was gone, the train was sat on the track, did kind of make me think, is this actually going to reopen ever? Yeah.
We've got a lovely photo of Max pretending to sit on the
test seat. Yeah.
Test seat. We'll talk about the thing that's next to it that you literally would not know was there.
Avalanche.
Very
well hidden, yeah. It's very well hidden.
It shouldn't be seen by anybody because it's bad.
It's not very good.
Imagine taking Avalanche at Blackpool and splitting it in half, putting a mid-course on it that's like really, you have to have a really drawn-in, slow entry to it, and then just having one good helix and then ending the ride. That's basically Avalanche summed up. It looks so out of place.
The Blackpool Avalanche is infinitely superior.
By far. I would not be sad to see Avalanche at KD go. It's just one of those rides that feels kind of there. Nobody would know it was there. It's just a thing that exists. Yeah,
it wasn't very good. Blackpool Avalanche is better. Next is a ride we actually did like, Dominator.
Briefly mentioned it before. It was a really good flawless.
It's really good.
It's my favourite flawless currently.
Yeah, it's really awesome. I don't think it's my favourite. I think I prefer Hydra slightly. But no, Dominator is amazing. It's brilliant.
It's got such a sense of pace. That turn behind the Cobra roll is fucking great.
That's one thing that I think makes this ride so great, is rather than just going from inversion into inversion like Bizarro does, it has some like low to the ground turns between the inversions.
And it has that turn over turn directly over the station. I don't know why I like it so much. It's just really fast, and it's got those high speed turns that make it really good.
Massive vertical loop. It's got the drop off the mid course is pretty good. It's got sort of interlocking corkscrews that don't look as good as the ones on Cumber, because obviously they wouldn't. And then it has a sort of twisty bit towards the end, the brake run. Yeah, it's a very Cedar Fair looking ride, but it's a really good flawless. Way better than Bizarro. Bizarro kind of sucks. It's really good. Dominator's solid. Would recommend.
Really, you can't say much about this, bar than it's a good coaster. There's nothing else to talk about with this coaster. It's kind of its shortfall, isn't it? It's just there. A lot of people don't talk about it. It just exists.
Yeah, so that's from that to I guess a bit of a sleeper hit for me.
Oh, Grizzly.
Yeah.
Man. Okay, bit of a backstory for this one. I've been on the other Grizzly at CGA, and it was absolutely fucking horrible.
Yes.
Like, it just, it was uncomfortable. I had the awful, like, Morgan trains, rattly rough, awful banking, awful pacing. It was not fun. And when we were sat on the brakes for ages, they were trying to load the next train. There was a wasp flying around my head the whole time. There was a wasp nest issue.
Oh, God.
It looks bad. It just does shit. Get rid of it, please.
Or RMC
CGA, it's awful.
Yeah.
But you always hear people praise the Grizzly at King's Dominion, which is weird because it's the exact same layout as CGA one, just mirrored.
So this is
so pretty much the thing that spaced it apart is their profile a bit differently, I believe.
Yeah.
And they got the PTCs instead. My fucking god, what a night and day difference between the two. Like,
definitely.
It is so different. It is so different.
I was not I know everyone said this was good, and I was like, is it really that good? But no, it's a really fun coaster. I was really surprised. I guess this is controversial, but I like it more than Megaphobia.
Really?
Yeah. I definitely like it more than Megaphobia.
I'd say 50-50 for me. But yeah, it is a proper sleeper hit, this ride. It's literally in the middle of nowhere. To get to it, you have to go through Dinosaur's Lives entrance.
So we went on a Saturday, so it was quite busy. But Grizzly, his station was empty basically, because it's so hard to find. You have to go into Dinosaurs Alive, and the queue is just this tiny little entrance banner.
Yeah.
It's so hidden away at the back, and people would just think it was part of Twisted Timbers on first look, because it's just a wooden coaster next to another wooden coaster, basically.
Imagine what like Hurler and that would have looked like next to each other. Like that must have been really weird for normal park guests. Just look and be like, oh, are they not the same thing?
Yeah, but
because you genuinely could make that mistake with this. Like honestly.
Yeah, you definitely could. So what made it good? I guess.
Pacing. It just had infinitely better pacing than the one at CGA. The trains made it really enjoyable.
We rode the front row, didn't we?
Yeah, it was also really it was just speed and lats and good transitions and stuff. It felt a little bit GCI-esque in areas.
See, what I remembered was you drop, and then you do the turn, and that's fine. And then the return trip has loads of little dips and bunny hops, which have loads of airtime.
Yeah, and you go through the tunnel, and you have that little turnaround bit where you come up for a bit, and you get laps to the side, and you come straight back down, and back to more hops.
Yeah, really fun.
It's just, it's a really old like layout design.
It's just like a Cyclone style layout, isn't it?
Yeah.
I know we got to speak to Taylor from Coaster Studios very briefly about King's Dominion when we met him.
Oh yeah.
And he told us we had to do this at night, and sadly we never got the chance. But if we go back to King's Dominion, which is probably quite likely, then we'll definitely be sure to do this.
Definitely, because I mean we kind of got rained out.
Yeah, we got rained out.
Our trips, unfortunately. On the second day, we literally left the park after like 2 because it was that bad, and we just spent the rest of the day at Max's place chilling.
Yeah.
So what's next on the itinerary?
Apple's Apple.
Your
Yeah, this was my 100th credit. Is there really anything else to say? I mean, I guess the branding's a bit nicer. Other than that, it's a wild mouse. There's not much to say about it, really.
It is a Mac Wild Mouse. I mean, the fact that you have it as your 100th is like it's like all it's got going.
Yeah, that's all that's worth saying. So, next to the ride formerly known as Rebel Yell, Racer 75.
People who complain about the whole Rebel Yell thing need to shut up.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. I don't care if it's got this whole political thing behind it. Who cares? Like literally, who cares?
Yeah.
Think about it. Like, I'm not gonna go to the park and be like, oh, they changed the name because of some political things. I'm not gonna ride it. It's bad now. And damn you, Cedar Fair, for playing into the hands of these people. And I'm just like,
I don't care.
Shrug. Just
Racer 75 it's a whatever name, but
it's not even that good of a coaster.
No.
So it was very like classic Woody.
Yeah.
Very drawn out classic Woody. Like not like the Blackpool ones where it's got like hops of like proper strong airtime in places. This was just kind of a nothing.
One thing that probably brought it down quite a lot was only one side was running the entire weekend.
Yeah, we weren't actually racing, which was a bit of an upset thing.
Yeah. Oh, well, I should say we did 2 days at this park just because it was close to where we were staying, and we only did this on the second day, but it was on one side both days, which was really quite annoying. Yeah.
We remember go back. Hopefully, I'll be running both, but we'll see. Can't,
who knows?
Yeah.
But yeah, it's
I've
not.
got a miscredit. That means I got a miscredit.
I know. I mean, I missed a lot of credits, but
yeah, you missed a lot.
Yeah.
All right, now this is my time to shine.
Oh, I was going to continue about Racer actually.
Are you?
Yeah, there was just,
Okay,
I just wanted to say, like, because I was looking at a POV of this and going, wow, there's loads of really low, shallow hills. This is going to have some good airtime. And no, it didn't have any good airtime at all.
Yeah.
I guess this is the kind of thing you compare to the Blackpool Woodies. I think I might take it over Big Dipper if it was racing. Otherwise, no. I think I probably would take it over Nickelodeon Streak and Blue Flyer. Definitely not over Grand National, though.
Yeah. I don't know.
That's about
I just
it.
didn't like Racer that much, I saw.
Yeah. So, next, I guess, Flight of Fear.
This is my ride, because you did not go on this.
I didn't ride it because it was in the dark and went upside down.
I have a confession to make. I did not go through the queue for this ride. I got through the fast lane entrance, which like skips all of it. So I didn't see any of the what's left of the Paramount theming. I've heard it's okay and not that bad. The station didn't look a bit like weird and empty. Now for the ride itself, it is literally Joker's Jinx indoors. Now I really like Joker's Jinx, but for some ungodly reason, at both of the King's like Cedar Fair parks, it kills itself on the mid-course and just almost brings it to a complete stop. And my god, what a way to kill pacing, especially after being on Joker's Jinx literally the day before.
Yeah.
It was so bad.
So I can't even remember what I did while Shitsu rode this, but
I think you just sat around because it didn't take long.
Yeah, maybe I did that. Maybe I probably should have just gone to Ride I-305 or something while you were doing that.
Probably, yeah.
But yeah, I've heard the queue is very nice, like quite extensively themed for what it is. But I didn't ride it because I didn't want to be sick. Because going upside down in the dark, where I can't see what's up and down, would probably do that to me.
Yeah.
Woodstock Express is a quick one. It's better than Blue Flyer. There you go. That's about all you can say about it.
Yeah. We got a lovely remote photo from it.
We did. So now to the...
You've been waiting for it. Now we're going to talk about
this is the sort of main event that we've been saving to the end. So Intimidator 305 was one of the reasons I booked this trip entirely on its own. I'd heard a lot of things about what this coaster does to you prior to this trip. I know people who love it. I know people who hate it. I've heard all between. And, you know, I mean, the most notorious thing is the first turn on this ride. This is what people were sort of anticipating. Well, this is what people were kind of making me think would, you know, make me black out. And I was getting quite scared. Like, this was the fourth thing we rode, wasn't it?
I don't think it was.
Because, well, you wanted it to be your 200th.
Oh, wait, no, I think it might have been.
Because we did Backlot.
I swear we had to walk around the
Anaconda.
park for a bit trying to find something to do.
I think we did
it.
Twisted Timbers, then we did Backlot, and then we did Anaconda.
Yeah, I think that was it, yeah.
And I remember standing in the queue for Anaconda and looking at I-305 thinking, oh my god, I am so scared. Like, if Skyrush was the most scared I've ever been waiting for a coaster, then this is probably the second most scared I've ever been waiting for a coaster.
I wasn't actually too scared waiting for 305. I was scared the second I got on that fucking front row, though.
Yes, so we got to the front row because Patrick, Codemaster, he told us, for your first ride, make sure it's front row. So we were like, right, okay, that's something that's got to be done. So we get in the front row, we pull down the very comfortable Intamin vests that we've talked about previously on the podcast.
Oh yeah, they are so good.
Yep. And then we hear the, gentlemen, start your engines! And suddenly we're going up this incredibly quick 305-foot cable lift hill, absolutely shitting ourselves.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I was so scared. And then you get to the top of the crest.
You see everything fall away.
Yeah. You get to the very top of the crest, and suddenly we're looking down at just a turn on the ground, just flat against the ground, just a turn, and we're like, oh my fucking god, 305 feet up. And then we drop, and honestly the drop isn't that special in this ride. I didn't notice much about it, but I was too busy thinking about this fucking turn. So my first initial thought when we hit the turn was, oh, this doesn't feel too bad. And then about a second into the turn, I'm like, oh, my vision is slowly closing in from all sides. And then by the time we're coming out of the turn and going over the airtime hill, I could not see anything.
Oh,
which
my God.
I don't know if that classes as blacking out or not, but I was basically blind for a short period of time.
Yeah. Did you not even hear?
I'm pretty sure my hearing was going as well. It probably did. And then suddenly I'm like kind of recovering, and we're going over the airtime hill like, oh, this is quite nice floater airtime. And then we start going down it again, and I'm like, oh shit, this is quite fast, isn't it?
Yeah.
And suddenly we're just thrown into this insanely low to the ground, whippy, fast, just exhilarating, insane layout. It's like there's like a speed hill, there's two really, really snappy transitions that it's like ejector laterals, and then you fly up and you go into there's a couple of hills, one of them's trimmed, which kind of sucks, and then you go around another turn into another quite whippy transition, and then you're in the brakes. And oh my god.
Yeah, I've just kind of let you speak for this one, because, I mean, you've got a very personal connection to this ride, haven't you?
I mean, the moment I hit the brakes, I was like, this is my number one. Easily. There's no way that couldn't be it. And we rode it 3 more times, and yeah.
Yeah.
It's such a rush. Oh my god.
I never actually, like, put this as my number one, because I kind of like Sky Rush more.
Yes.
But without a doubt, this was easily one of the most, like, holy shit moments I've ever had in my entire life going on this thing. The turn. I never blacked out. I did retain vision throughout the whole thing. I was very close to having, like, a full static screen in front of my face, though. Like, it was closing in.
Yeah. I would say after I'd eaten that day, I didn't black out.
Yeah, but like the transitions, the whip is
that little speed
ridiculous.
Hill after the
yeah, and the little speed hill. It's all just so fast.
Like
it is so fast.
It's that this kind of made me realise that one of the things that really makes a world-class coaster for me is just that feeling of just uncontrollable, insane speed. That I love that, and. You know, I don't care much for the Dale Earnhardt theme. It's nice. It does its job. But there's no...
I mean, until recently, I didn't actually know much about NASCAR and stuff like that. I watched a video on it recently, and I was like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Quite surprised they even decided to theme it off that. But basically, what happened was, when they were designing the ride, they wanted to call it the Intimidator.
Yes.
And then they looked up, and the Earnhardt family owns the rights to Intimidator. So then they basically went, "Hey, do you wanna like theme this ride to Dale Earnhardt, the number 3?" So I honestly think it's a pretty good match.
Yeah, I mean,
unlike the other one.
I'm glad they did that, because honestly, like, I think Intimidator is like the most perfect name for this coaster.
Yeah, and the car theme with the front of it.
Yeah,
it
the trains
cool
do look
shit.
nice. I'll give it that. The trains look quite nice. Yeah,
it's just
that is
speed.
one thing. This ride is so imposing. Like,
oh yeah,
the entire day, like before we rode this thing, we were walking around.
It's
we
just
could see
lurking
this
off in the
thing.
distance,
You just this massive 305-foot arch that's held up by 2 supports, and we're looking at it like, oh my god, are we riding this at some point?
Yeah,
we were so scared.
It takes me back to when I first saw Big One for the first time in like 2013, I think, and like the scale of that terrified me. It really kind of it hits you.
Yeah, yeah. This was my first. This is my first Giga as well.
Oh yeah, the Giga as well. I mean, that's where you get the speed from. One thing I will say, The reason I prefer Skyrush over Intimidator 305 is purely down to one factor, and that is that hill after the S-turns where it trims.
Yes.
Now I get that you need to slow the ride down eventually, but you feel the momentum loss there, and it does kind of. Whereas in Skyrush, it uses all of its momentum to its full until the end, and while there are trims on Skyrush, you don't feel them.
Yeah.
Like, you don't feel the drop in speed as much as you do on i305, and that's literally it. That's literally the one thing clinching it for my number one, because everything else is just absolutely fucking class.
Yeah.
But turn into the brake run in the front row.
There's some amazing photos of that brake run entrance.
You just go from like 90 degrees to flat in like at such a short space, at such a high speed.
I mean, if we're talking about transitions to brake entrances, we'll get to that on the Busch Gardens Williamsburg episode.
Yeah,
no.
I don't know what else to say about it.
For me, right, the Twisted Timbers disappointment was almost entirely made up for by how good this coaster was.
Yeah.
Like, it got to the point where like people were like debating like Twimbers and i305 a lot in 2018, and for me there's just no competition. Twisted Timbers is on like A tier or like B tier, and i305 is on like S tier, like SSS tier. Like, it is a phenomenal roller coaster, and it's so worth it.
Other things, I want to address a couple things regarding it. One of which being, it's not for everyone.
Yeah.
It will fucking take the life out of you. You need to be very prepared to ride this thing. Like, we drank lots of water to avoid blacking out.
And I still blacked out.
Yeah, this is the same coaster that had to get retracked because of how, like, not bad, but because of how much of an issue it became for the park.
Yeah. I will say, if you don't like positive G-forces...
If you don't like relentlessness, like, absolute full-on, like...
I know, like, okay.
I've got nothing else to compare it to.
If you don't like those really...
Like,
if you go on, like... If you've been on, like, flat rides, or you've been on Olympia Looping or something, and if you don't like that really nasty spike of high G-force, you don't feel anything like that on i305. The first turn is only about 3.5 Gs, and it's just sustained for such a long time that you lose vision, but it's not actually uncomfortable, I don't think.
Yeah, it's not uncomfortable. I do think some people are a bit too harsh on this ride. One person in particular.
Who's that? Oh, I don't know.
Person who has a Skyrush is their number one.
I think
says that this is one
I've heard her talk about her reasons for this a little bit more, and it was very much a circumstantial thing.
Right.
Because it was a very, very hot day when she was there. Apparently.
Yeah. Because the thing is, I honestly think that Skyrush and i305 are on the same level of relentlessness.
Yeah, I think so. I mean,
so for someone to say that Skyrush is fine and this isn't, I just found a bit questionable.
Yeah.
It just goes at full tilt, no stopping, apart from that trim section.
Yeah.
That's the bit that.
When you look at the layout, like the section between the first turn and the trim is actually quite short. It's like only 3 turns, pretty much. And
this coaster, like if you look at it from top down, this whole coaster layout looks really short.
Yeah.
It does not feel it. It feels like you've been going for fucking miles.
Well, it is a very long track because it's just so huge.
It just goes and goes and goes and goes at foot. Like, it just doesn't stop.
I mean, I feel like I've peaked quite soon. Like, there are not many coasters that I think could actually overtake this for my number one.
There's definitely a few for me.
Yeah.
Definitely a few.
I think Steel Vengeance has the potential to. And probably nothing else, honestly.
Yeah.
I can't see Millennium Force taking it, as good as it looks. I can't see Maverick taking it, to be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Any closing thoughts on the ride then, since this is like the thing?
This is the
thing.
I don't know what to say, really. Just fucking don't skip it. Just ride it. And if it kills you, then don't ride it again. But yeah, I will say it's a hard coaster to marathon, because God, that turn really does take it out of you.
It definitely does.
Yeah.
Not that will stop us.
Okay. Right, so we did some flat rides here. Very few.
Yeah.
Actually, this isn't really a flat ride, but we did the Eiffel Tower because, we had a lot of time here. We thought we might give it a go. It's a big piece of history for this park, so I did kind of want to give it a go.
Also the views.
Yeah.
The views from the top of this thing are absolutely stunning.
Yeah, so you see the whole park from up here, obviously. I mean,
The views of like I-305 from there are legendary.
Yeah.
Like that one photo of it just peeking over the top of the lift hill with the trees off in the distance, like that photo.
that is a good photo.
That's taken from the Eiffel Tower.
Yeah. That's about all you can say, really. It's good. Nice view.
Yeah.
It's a small Eiffel Tower, but you still see the whole park from up there. Very good.
Yeah, so Berserker, I did this. Now,
What
I've
is
been on Endeavour.
what is Berserker for people who don't know?
it's basically a looping starship that's not controlled by its like rotational axis. It's got like booster tires at the bottom, like a normal pirate ship.
Okay.
So when it's upside down, it's fully like physics. It's not controlled.
Right.
So like the hang time is fucking insane.
Okay.
I'd done the one at CGA, which is unfortunately gone now because I don't even know. But Berserker felt more comfortable than Endeavour,
Right.
and the hang time in it was absolutely fucking legendary.
Yeah, you were loving it. I remember watching.
Yeah, you were like watching.
Yeah. So I don't
was
really do
so-
flat rides, so
Like the feeling of it, like it was just a counterweight at the bottom. So the feeling of like proper hang time with like no control is like something to behold. It's great. I don't really know what else to say.
Yeah.
The restraints are a bit naff, but I mean I found a way to make it a bit less comfortable.
yeah. So
Oh, sorry, a bit more comfortable. Sorry, not a bit less comfortable.
would you say if someone's into flat rides, that's worth their time?
Oh god, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Please check it out because the hang time on this is, like I say, it's something to behold. It's you won't get anything like that on a Larson loop because
Okay.
they're like controlled.
Yeah.
Like the proper feeling of falling slowly back down to the earth through gravity alone is great.
Okay.
So Windseeker.
Yeah, this was something I wanted to do just because it's like it's a big Cedar Fair staple, and I really wanted to give it a go.
I hadn't done one yet either myself.
So it was all right. It's basically just a Starflyer, but
So
fancier.
Hypersonic XLC.
Yeah, so that's basically all that you want to ride it for because you look down
Yeah.
and you can see what they left up from Hypersonic XLC, which is
The stations and I think they left the storage building up. I can't remember.
For the people who don't
And there
know,
are some air tanks as well.
for people who don't know, Hypersonic XLC was the prototype SNS thrust air launch coaster thing.
Yeah.
They built the prototype at the SNS factory and then shipped half of it to King's Dominion and changed a bit of it and put it there.
Yeah.
And then they removed it because it was a piece of shit that broke down all the time.
Short-lived.
Yeah. But we saw the stations there, the air tanks there, some of the footers are
It's
still
funny
there.
because I think if like take away Windseeker, that could still potentially be there today, and it wouldn't have it wouldn't clash with anything else. It's a weird thought, isn't it?
Yeah, that whole area is. I mean, was the Starflyer there with it?
No. Windseeker.
Sorry, no, the
no.
the Skyfly, Extreme Skyflyer.
I don't think
Sky
it. Oh,
Coaster.
it might not. No, I think it was actually.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was kind of a shame that wasn't there. Like, I mean.
Yeah, no, it was there with the It was there with the Skyflyer.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. This is just an interesting, short-lived coaster, really. That
Hasn't Max been on it?
I can't remember. He might have said, because I think I was talking to him about Fuji-Q Highland once, and he said I'd like to get back on a SNS thrust air, and I was like, wait, you've been on. What have you done? And he said something like, yeah, I don't remember. I'm sure he said something like that.
Oh well.
Yeah, ride
Tower.
Windseeker to look at that. Drop Tower.
Drop Tower. It was quite good.
Yeah, it's all right. It's a good drop tower.
Drop's good. Not else to say. It's a drop tower. It's got a decent drop. It's got a forceful brake.
Yeah. I prefer Hangover.
Thank you. Come again. It's pretty much what you can say about it.
It's a big drop tower. Give it that. It's one of the tallest in the world.
It's also one of the paramount ugly areas as well,
Yeah.
that we mentioned earlier. So it's all just concrete and naff.
Was it? Is it the tallest gyro drop at the moment?
It's not a gyro.
Isn't it?
No,
Oh.
it's fixed.
Oh. Did not know that.
You've been on it.
Yeah. I guess. Yeah. No. Now that I think about it, yeah, it doesn't rotate, does it?
Nah.
It was one of the
mention
tallest
this.
drop towers in the world for a while, though.
Oh yeah, tallest Jira drop tower is going to be Highlander.
Highlander, yeah.
The one at Nigoland as well.
Yeah.
Is it in Nigoland?
It's somewhere. It's somewhere in.
It's somewhere
Norway.
in Europe.
So then there is Talakant, which I didn't ride.
I have a proper bone to pick with this one. It was actually like depressing. This ride.
So,
none of the effects were on. None of the music was on.
Again,
it was one of the worst fucking cycles I've ever seen.
Again, what is
Talakant
this?
What
is this for people who don't know?
It's a Huss flawless topspin, and it's the same model as Talakant, but done worse in every single way. And because Talakant is my favourite ride of all time, that really ticked me off when I rode it. It was so unbelievably bad.
It has quite similar theming setup to Talakant as well, with all the
I know it does, and that
built around it and stuff.
I feel dirty saying that because it's not. It's really not. Talakant's better on literally every single plane. Oh, it was bad.
Yeah, I remember.
I mean, you remember how angry I was.
I just remember watching you with like look of misery on your face the entire time going round. You weren't enjoying it.
I was not impressed in the slightest.
So that's all the little flats we did. Yeah. So that.
Shout out to Delirium, by the way. We didn't actually get a chance to do it. I did actually want to check it out, but due to the rain issue, we couldn't actually ride it, which is a shame. I know apparently it's not that much, but I did kind of want to ride it to see what it was since it replaced
Shockwave.
Thingy. Yeah,
the
Shockwave.
Togo stand up. Oh, what a shame!
Strange to think that this park had one.
What a shame that coaster wasn't there. When we were
that
there.
would have been an interesting one to ride.
Yeah. So on to some Twitter responses.
All right, you can read it out this time.
Yep.
I did all the other ones.
So, Tom asks, Apple's Apple or Twisted Timbers? Twisted Timbers.
No comment.
Apple's Apple. Twisted Timbers is bad. No. Zach asks, how was Volcano?
I'm never speaking to you again.
Yep. So Cal asks, what would you like to see them add next?
Okay. I don't want them to be cliche and add a fucking BM invert, because that would be bad. Honestly, there are a couple things. There was a lot of talk about a possible hypercoaster along with Dinosaur's live route by Grizzly. That would be cool.
Yes. Yeah, I can see that.
Or to replace Volcano, I'm not sure. That's a big space. You could put anything there. Something I think it would benefit from would be a Vekoma something, honestly.
Like a Bermuda Blitz.
Kind of, yeah.
Or one of their launch.
Or one of the other launch models they've got.
Yeah. So we did get someone asked, Ryan Wilcox asked, what would you want them to replace Volcano with and without the mountain?
Oh yeah, with the mountain. I don't know what you do with the mountain anymore, really.
I mean, it's pretty obvious that the mountain's going to go because there's.
I mean, unless you did a Carnan and had that go like up and out and down the mountainside. That would be quite cool. Now I think about it.
What about something like? I wonder if you could do something like Wicked, like a Eurofighter kind of thing that launches out at the top of the volcano.
Ooh, maybe.
That'd be kind of cool.
Yeah.
Honestly, though, like. The volcano should
delete
go.
Avalanche as well, and just put in a big thing. Katie deserves.
Get rid of Volcano and Avalanche and try and fit something good in there. Yeah.
Yeah. Not a B&M invert though, because I don't want it to literally just be Kings Island too. Even though that's kind of what it is. What was the first one?
Kings Island. Kings Island came first, yeah, and this was sort of inspired by it, I guess, or was kind of a sister park.
Yeah, that answers my question to that.
Yeah, I really could not think what I'd want to replace this off the top of my head. It's just honestly, I could see a B&M invert being a good replacement, honestly, because they don't have anything like that. They're losing their only inverted coaster. They've got their airtime machines. They've got their big, definitive, amazing. This is the best thing here coaster.
Yeah, but they've also lost their only launch coaster as well. Oh no, their only like proper launch coaster. Black Hawk doesn't fucking count.
So, well, they got Flight of Fear as well.
Oh yeah, I'm dumb.
This park has had 4 launch coasters in its.
I forgot that. I keep
at one
forgetting that
point.
Flight of Fear exists. It's one of those rides that just.
It's hidden away in a box. So that's understandable.
You know, in Doctor Who, where they have those like necklace things they wear to make you not visible.
Yes.
People.
Yes.
That's kind of what what Flight of Fear's like. Like.
Yeah.
It's there, but you just never notice.
I mean,
it.
you could walk past it and not know that it was a coaster.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Because it's just like, it just looks like a building.
Yeah.
And you know,
anyway.
There's no thing that says Flight of Fear. There's a thing that says press area outside it. So yeah.
That's about it.
Yeah.
This park, isn't it?
Yeah, we had a good time here. I know we were a bit negative.
For what little time we had.
We were a bit negative about some of the rides.
Yeah, I think it's difficult to be kind to this park, but we do love it. Like we do.
Yeah,
we really
I
do.
want to go back.
Don't get the wrong idea. Yeah, we really want to go back and do more stuff and ride O305 more. Hopefully, Twimbers will be running better. We've got Grizzly. That's fantastic. Dominator's great.
We need to do night rides on so many of these things. We got night rides on Twisted Timbers because we were hoping it would be a bit faster, and it was, but.
Not by much.
Yeah, we missed our chance to have night rides on other stuff though, which was kind of annoying.
Yeah.
But it is what it is. We'll go back. Yeah. So thank you for listening to this one. This might be. We've gone for about an hour now, so it shouldn't be too much shorter.
The next podcast should be the Dubai ones.
Yeah.
So be aware of that.
And then we've got.
Alexa, stop.
We've got the last two.
Sorry, I don't know why that set off.
We've got the last two American ones to go over. One of them should be with Max.
Yeah.
Provided we can get him on, because he generally isn't on until very late in the evening.
Yeah.
Other than that, yeah, thanks for listening, and we'll see you on the next show.